injection marks. Black, tendril-like webs of burnt nerves radiate outward around each one.
I really hope this is a
A
dream.
passing ray of light reflects off the countless tiny blades that look like they sprouted from inside Ydira's body.
Argenta? Oridira.
Every
Argenta.
exposed area of Argenta's skin is mottled with an intricate pattern of scarlet blisters, crimson indentations, and charred tissue.
Ooh.
The tribunal is waiting for your explanations. Come closer.
And here comes our principal witness, the rogue traitor himself.
Hinrix gives you a cold look.
If the presented evidence was not enough to convince you, his testimony will conclude this confusing case full of oath-breaking, lies, and heresy.
You dragged this boy into this trial and now expect someone will lend an ear to a lowly heretic's testimony? I thought better of you, Interrogator Van Calix. I was so very wrong.
Lady Theodora's voice sounds even harsher and angrier than you remember. The Lord Inquisitor makes a vaguely dismissive gesture.
Enough. Let him speak. The sooner this business is concluded, the better. Then let us continue. Shielded by the powers of the warrant of trade granted by the Imperium, Theodora von Valancius more than once allowed herself to openly collaborate with Xenos.
You have never seen such a contemptuous grimace on the interrogator's face.
She plunged her entire protectorate into apostasy and heresy, including the current rogue traitor, and went out of her way to prevent the Inquisition and me personally from maintaining order inside the Expanse. Does the rogue traitor admit to fraternizing with the Xenos, serving them as a puppet, and rejecting the God Emperor's blessed light for the sake of his heretical desires and base profit?
The Xenox is gone. Why is the Lord Inquisitor here? And Theodora a reanimated corpse too. Didn't she die? Everything is wrong here. Yeah, totally.
Died, you say? But who are you talking to if I did? Get one simple truth into your empty head. Your role in these events is negligible. You shall think me the Emperor on the Golden Throne if I so choose, and think me dead if it strikes my fancy. But this is not what matters right now. Just looking in your direction makes me sick. Why must I speak to the filth?
Hinrix bends over you with a crooked smile.
Rogue traitor, are you all right? Or was your heretical association with Xenos so disruptive that you lost your mind?
The mocking words do a little to hide his irritation. The interrogator is obviously displeased with the turn of the conversation is taking.
The Inquisitor leans forward slightly at the sight of your anguish. For a brief moment, the boredom in his eyes is gone.
You've seen that?
It was amusing, but the joke has outstayed its welcome.
Theodora shoots the interrogator a nasty look.
It is painfully obvious this heretic is dancing to your tune. His word against mine? You had lost before you even unsheathed your blade, Hinrix.
You need not worry, dear Lord Captain. It was not my intention to bring up unsupported claims.
Hinrix produces a data slate and skillfully manipulates the device until he locates the necessary information.
The rogue traitor uncovered the crimes of the Eldari on the most important agri-world of the von Valancius Protectorate, which feeds many Imperium colonies in the Expanse. But instead of purging the planet of the Xenos menace, he allowed the Inhumans to take refuge in the shadow of his power. They are corrupting Janician society even as we speak, and who knows, perhaps another rebellion will not be long in coming.
We already talked about this.
The rogue traitor has often been accompanied by a Xenos companion. And though the warrant of trade does allow one to grant sanction to individual specimens, what is this if not a confirmation of the von Valancius family's loyalty to the enemies of humanity?
Yrliet is awesome. Quiet, Hinrix.
The rogue trader's ties to the Drukhari, a different subspecies of Eldari, are just as obvious. Who else could help him divine the carefully prepared plans of the Drukhari if not other Drukhari? Rel von Valancius always ended up in the location of the next Drukhari raid, knowing for certain where they were going to strike.
So, yes, I did cooperate with Xenox. This I will not deny. Guilty all charges, the same thing. Yes. Okay, cooperation is a double-edged sword. Sometimes you use your partner and sometimes your partner uses you, which is what happened to the rogue trader. Lady Theodora used him to undermine the standing of the Imperium in the Expanse.
The tribunal remains silent. although those present cast anxious glances at your predecessor.
At this point, the tribunal probably wants to know what the true intentions of the von Valancius dynasty are. The rogue traitor claims he has been waging war against the Drukhari this entire time. Except, was there really a war? Or was it another carefully staged performance?
Hinrix is looking at you closely, almost without blinking.
Allow me to explain what actually happened. Rel von Valancius personally invited the Drukhari to his worlds and then used their strength and resources to sow chaos in the expanse to gain leverage over his rivals. It is very convenient to play the victim while working with those who rob your neighbors blind and terrify the worlds that pay you tribute. How much did you profit from this, rogue traitor? Did you think I would not uncover your pathetic conspiracy?
Enough of this circus, Hinrix. I did not set up any attacks. Yeah, failed.
Or at least, that is what you wanted to say. However, the alien will make you say something else entirely.
It was originally Lady Theodora's plan. She has servants, always let me know where the next Drukhari's attack would take place.
Your pathetic attempts to paint me as a heretic are like a blunted rapier, tedious and useless.
Theodora's gaze is not directed at you. She is addressing Hinrix.
This must be a dream. I hope it's a dream.
I do not think so. Another witness to your atrocities arrived alongside the rogue traitor.
So, yeah.
If the court so desires, my speech will run like a river and wash away your doubts. I found a shard of my home in the rogue traitor's chambers. An entire craft world vanished among the stars, the only clue to its fate resting in the hands of this Monkey. That was when I began to suspect that he had something to do with the misfortune that had befallen my Cruelty. Do not be deceived by his breed. There is a cunning predator lurking behind the fluttering of fragile butterfly wings. The Monkey before you is a bizarre amalgamation of qualities not usually inherent in his feeble species. He has mastered the mysteries of many of this world's cultures. The secrets of the universe and ancient artifacts, the fine art of war, the intricacies of deceit, all are embodied in a single Monkey, however hard it may be to believe. However, the thread that bound our paths broke the moment I realized the Monkey's involvement in the disappearance of my home. To flee the rogue traitor, I tracked down and eliminated his chief tracker who has pursued our kin in this part of the galaxy for many years, and thus earned clemency before this court.
This must be Marazhai turning me against everyone in a dream.
So Achilles did not simply vanish, you helped him disappear.
Hinrix nods curtly.
I say he had only himself to blame. An agent who cannot recognize an impending threat is useless.
Hinrix nods with satisfaction, noticing your reaction, or rather, the lack of it.
The court has been presented with enough evidence, and I hope no one is harboring any doubts as to the guilt of the von Valancius dynasty. But let us allow the rogue traitor to say his final word. We are all curious to know what you have gleaned from this inquiry.
Now I see that I have been blind. The Xenos have been fighting one another all this time, and I was their unwitting cat's paws. I'm still struggling to make sense of what's going on here. Totally.
You do not need to understand, Monkey. You have done what was required of you. Now muster your strength, we still have a fun. Enough.
After the spell is lifted, staggering pain pierces your body. Darkness clouds your vision and nausea creeps up your throat, but the wounds you manage to forget soon remind you that you are still alive.
So it was a dream.
The weakness of your subjects is an insult to the Council of Archons and the Supreme Overlord of Commorragh himself, Yrliet.
The commanding, inhuman voice tears you from the vice of agony, and you see an unknown Drukhari in the center of the chamber whose presence alone causes your insides to clench.
Instead of fighting and ripping what they are owed from Destiny's hands by force, they dare to crawl into the Dark Palace, begging for favors.
So, okay, so look at Drukhari upon the throne.
One half of his face is hidden behind a golden mask with an intimidating visage. The other half is showing a malicious, sharp-toothed leer. The Xenos' elaborate armor is decorated with skulls and patches of human skin impaled on countless blades and hooks. He carries himself with authority and ease, as though he is a ruler who holds the threads of fate of all those present tightly in his grasp.
Okay, look at female Drukhari. Failed,
The Xenos
obviously.
looks menacing. Perhaps she is the personal guard of the Drukhari sitting on the throne.
Look at Marazhai.
The smug grin has fled Marazhai's face. He clutches the hilt of his blade and casts a vicious look at the female Drukhari in sumptuous armor.
Look at Yrliet.
Yrliet absorbs every word, occasionally wincing in pain and covering her weeping wounds. Her posture and gestures are full of tension. Like prey cornered by a pack of predators, Yrliet shrinks under the hungry stares of those around her.
Yeah, she must be a victim too. Okay, listen to the conversation.
With the greatest respect, mighty Nazrakai, Archon of the Cable of the Black Heart, first among the chosen, voice of the Overlord of the Dark City, bringer of demise, conqueror of 100 worlds.
Nazrakai dismisses Marazhai like a bothersome fly.
The Council of Archons has heard enough platitudes, Draken Marazhai, and no longer wishes to. Of vitriol verbose the cut and thrust. Keep time with fate's own machinations grave. But whose deft footwork leads to naught but dust? While from its brutal finish none can save. This play, the puppet master granted me. Through murky stalls a path obligingly.
Who is this one?
The puppet master? Has Vect himself invited you to this chamber?
The Archon chokes on his own words, but quickly regains his composure.
No matter. You may be our guest, Arabenian, but you are merely a spectator in this performance. And spectators do not belong on the stage, as you undoubtedly know. Do not interfere.
Arabenian.
The stranger presses a delicate finger to the lips of his sorrowful mask, and says with a twinkle in his eye,
A shadow in the shadows will I be.
Look at Eldari who interrupted the trial. 63. Come on. Failed.
The smooth, subtle movements of the Xenos are unlike the rough lunges of the Drukhari or the cautious gestures of the children of Assyrian. But your aching head and the lingering feud prevent you from focusing your eyes on the daring soul who interrupted the Archon. The Xenos catches your eye and nods. For a moment, the play of shadows on the mask appears to twist its expression into a mischievous grin.
Okay, recall what you know about Vect. 33, come on. Failed.
Judging by the Archon's reaction, this is a prominent figure in the Drukhari hierarchy, but memory fails you. You are not familiar with the Xenos by that name.
Okay, damn Xenox, I will burn all of you in this den of heresy in the God's Emperor's name. Hey, Archon or whatever your name is, I shall soon be adding your mask to my collection of Xeno artifacts. Stop acting like I'm not here. Okay, listen.
The Archon addresses the female Drukhari standing beside him, his eyes alight with mockery, not directed at her, however, for he is still looking at Marazhai.
How does the Archon intend to pay for her cable's blatant disrespect? I am waiting for your reply, Remerus, and my patience is growing thinner with each breath you take.
Marazhai's eyes widen, filled with astonishment and disbelief. He seems to have been certain of the outcome and did not expect what he is hearing now. His lips twist in an enraged snarl, hatred directed at the Xenos on the throne, and yet it finds no outlet under the gazes of the dozens of Drukhari in the chamber.
I humbly bow before the Council of Archons and apologize for this outburst on behalf of the Cable. Allow me to prove my respect to you with a humble gift.
Remerus points at you with a clawed finger and flashes a satisfied grin.
The Draken of the Cable of the Reaving Tempest himself and his amusing Monkey plaything with their entourage of hapless freaks will enter your arenas and fight the best warriors for the crowd's amusement.
Oh boy.
A muffled chuckle can be heard from under Nazrakai's mask.
Commorragh accepts your gift, Remerus. But what should I do, for Marazhai is the first among your blades? Should I cast him out of the palace and condemn to disgrace? Or should I be merciful and allow him to leave the chamber on his own?
The Archon's chilling gaze falls upon you.
I think I know who will make this difficult decision. A creature whose mewling the Council of Archons was meant to heed. Is this not right, Marazhai? You will receive what you have been longing for. It will be the Monkey who decides your fate.
Marazhai's face contorts in despair. His gaze shifts from the Archon to you, then to Remerus and back, but he does not dare to utter an objection.
So beat him half to death and throw him out of like rubbish? Marazhai was a worthy opponent. Let him go to arena himself. To the void with the you Xeno scum. I will not be part of your games. Listen and remember, in the Emperor names, I will end you all. Yeah, spit in disgust. Yeah.
The lesser races are disgustingly primitive.
The Archon of the Cable of the Black Heart addresses Marazhai, ignoring your words.
The Monkey cannot even decide the fate of its enemy, and you were hoping that someone here would lend an ear to its words? Amusing. The arenas of Commorragh will devour you and your playthings.
With a hiss of rage, Marazhai draws his blades, preparing to fight back. The Archon nods in satisfaction and makes an unfamiliar gesture. The guards draw closer to you.
Let us return to you, Remerus.
The laughter of the masked Xenos interrupts the Archon and echoes under the vaults of the chamber in a resounding baritone.
And all the masks upon their marks now stand. The slave of vanity the spire ascends. The thief and traitor cast downward by her hand. Unbeknownst to all, their fate depends upon a lead unseen, a player green.
The Xenos leans forward and eyes you with genuine interest. The mask hides his narrow face, and his motley garb shimmers in the dim light.
This is not Yrliet, right?
Is this how you treat the hospitality of Commorragh, Arabenian? I thought your words were worth more. You insult me by interrupting the trial again.
The Xenos sweeps into a theatrical bow without taking his eyes off Nazrakai's face.
You, Archon, speak a just rebuke, in truth. Fate's melodies and snarls fantastic have entrapped me here, and when I heard them play, I could not keep my lips from grinning wide. Here comes the hour for shadows to retreat. To where the curtain waits to rise, the laugh, with no beginning now sends forth the call.
Man. The world is impenetrable haze of warm pain. You lie motionless. No, you rest, in the murky gloom slowly dissolving into nothingness. Sometimes your response is troubled by unpleasant and persistent tremor coming from the place where your legs used to be. You do your best to ignore them.
A vaguely familiar voice reaches you through the curtain of darkness, but your disobedient thoughts refuse to reveal where and when you have heard it before. Was it just recently, or 100 lifetimes ago? The trembling coming from your legs is replaced with a violent jerking motion, and then it finally stops.
Away, you vulture, this is not your prey.
From this phantasmagoria retreat, and deathly seize my merchant vagabond. The puppet master's strings left dangling. Again rise up to take your place and dance.
A spark ignites in the darkness, and its light ruthlessly cuts through the gloom that envelopes you. An ugly image of the reality around you assaults your retina. You can feel your body again and realize it is filled with pain. Your shoulder is sore from an injection.
Rogue help, or rogue trader Van Valencius lies before you. Kneel and help me to rise. Ignore the vaguely familiar voice.
Your wordlessness is worth 100 words. But here you ply your trade in other gems. Red rubies of blood and emeralds of pain. The dance will leave your pockets fit to burst.
A prickling sensation burns your shoulder, and the darkness at last fully withdraws from your mind. Whatever the injection was, it is making your heart beat a frenzied tattoo and your pupils narrow so that you now register every detail of the disgusting place in which you have found yourself in merciless clarity.
Okay. Succeeded.
You immediately regret this decision. Every inch of your body is suffering. There is a dull, debilitating pain in your head caused by chemicals of some kind. Your body is covered in deep cuts, made either for fun or with sinister intent. All of your organs appear to be intact, but the same cannot be said for your blood. You have lost a great deal. Finally, a strange gnawing spasm occasionally flares at the base of your skull. It is not severe, but for some reason it is what concerns you most of all. All your equipment is gone, as are your shoes. You do not even have a knife at hand to fend off enemies, or to open your veins.
Okay, look around.
You are surrounded by the dead, numerous corpses, mutilated bodies, and pieces thereof. Humans, Drukhari, and other Xenos unfamiliar to you lie motionless in this gruesome mortuary.
Okay, look at your rescuer.
Your eyes refuse to focus on the blurry figure of the person who came to your aid. He appears to be tall, and your mind emphatically refuses to continue, for every moment of concentration causes you suffering.
I have seen you somewhere before. Who are you?
A dream obscure of death, deliverance. Illuminating will and agony.
Where am I?
Among the shadows in the wings you lie. Where taut are pulled the puppet master's strings.
The stranger intricately links his fingers to mimic the tools of a puppeteer.
My companions, where are they? Yrliet especially.
Not here. The roles have been decided now. But if you play your part, perhaps the plot will draw you back together or to doom.
The figure's cruel laughter follows.
This overture in verse, the final lines. The merchant's time to tread the boards has come. Embark you now upon your pilgrimage. And take my parting gift, a humble prop.
The stranger deposits something in your hand and disappears into the twilight.
Attempt to rise?
Your body has suffered too much to obey your mind. Or rather, that is how it would have been for someone else, perhaps. But not for you. You have lived through worse. Anguish and torture could never break you now. You will rise to your feet and press on. All that is left to understand is why you should.
Okay, remember all the people whose lives depend on you.
Hundreds of faces flash before your mind's eye. Friends, subjects, and companions. The universe is cruel and full of darkness, and your will and determination are the only barrier between your loved ones and its crushing apathy and brutality. You have no right to die, not here and not now. Resoluteness floods your veins like incandescent plasma, and you make another attempt to get up. You get up. Yes, your body aches and rebels against you, but your tempered mind is stronger than mortal flesh. You draw yourself up straight and take in your surroundings.
Okay. I cannot see the whole group. Nope. Okay, so I have this. What else? That's all I have, is this. And I have... Okay. My god, what is here? Beggar.
Hands off. That corpse is mine.
Right, aware. Okay, search. The moment it's impossible to remove trophies from cargo. Okay.
The contents of the injector bubble playfully, as if urging you to find out whether the liquid inside is poison or medicine.
Beggar. Oh.
It is nigh impossible to identify this horrendous spawn dressed in rags as a human being, or rather, a genetic anathema descended from human beings. The mutant's hideous appearance is complemented by brutal scars and a partially flayed face. You seem to have made an equally poor impression on the wretched beggar. He sizes you up and rasps.
You look like a groxbat. How are you still breathing with wounds like that?
The beggar's features are appalling to the point of being too offensive to look upon.
Oh my. I am in need of help.
The mutant arches an eyebrow in bemusement.
Really? A gripping tale. And why should I give a crap?
Okay, perhaps... Orgy, point your weapon at him. How is this for a reason?
The mutant's hand dives under his rags, but fails to grab his weapon in time. He freezes and shrinks under the barrel of your gun.
Don't, please. What did I ever do to you?
I need shelter and the assistance of a healer.
The beggar looks at you skeptically, thinks for a moment, and then nods.
Fine. Who else should help a hapless soul in this accursed place if not another hapless sap, right? Come, I'll take you somewhere safe.
He beckons you to follow him. Then something in his wrist clicks, and a long blade coated with something foul thrusts out of it. A moment later, the blade sinks into your flesh.
Dude.
You do not feel any pain, not yet, at least. You merely watch in surprise as a spray of crimson fans through the air. You do not know when your hand sees the beggar's throat. Your fingers clench around it of their own accord. The mutant's eyes go wide and a rattle escapes his reeking mouth. He dies before he can wound you again. You force yourself to release your grip on his crushed larynx. The pain finally reaches you through the veil of adrenaline, but the sensation is hardly shocking. What is another wound to you when your body is already suffering from 100 just like it?
Okay, ooh, we can loot. Ooh.
The contents of the injector bubble playfully, as if urging you to find out whether the liquid inside is poison or medicine.
Oh, this one is better. Okay, we'll take this. Put this one here. What else we had? Ooh, the boots. Boots. Increase the wear. Ah, okay. Movement. Am I gonna have to fight all by myself? Okay.
This cannot be.
You find nothing that could be of use to you.
If you surrender to the cough and lie down, it will be easier to breathe and your lungs will stop burning. No, we don't. Okay, find help. What we can do here? Anything? A key. Okay. Yeah, again, if you surrender, your lungs will stop burning. I don't want to surrender. Yep. Okay, a stim.
The contents of the injector bubble playfully, as if urging you to find out whether the liquid inside is poison or medicine.
Yeah. What is this? Oh, healing. Ah, so we put one here, one here. Okay. Where do we have to go? Ah, here to the pit. Why would it go there? Okay, let's go the other way. Happen. Ah. Ooh, another medikit. I don't know if this is a good sign or a bad sign. Another one? Yeah, yeah. Oh, nothing. Okay.
You find nothing that could be of use to you.
Your wounds barely hurt at all and your body feels surprisingly light. And this is weird. The whole thing here is so weird.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
What is this?
An enormous eye stares at you through the glowing portal, or rather, the portal is the eye of something enormous, and its maw patiently waiting for you to step inside.
Well, can I step inside? No? Okay. We done here? Yeah. We need to go here. Ooh. Okay. Dead bodies. You fool, do you have a death wish? That's why they came here, to gut people like us. I'm still going to try to sneak past, maybe. While you failed. Do I need to sneak? Okay, let's try to go here. Try to go this way? Uh-oh. What are you guys doing?
None shall stand in my way.
If you surrender to the cough, yeah, your lungs will stop burning. What are these? The barking of weapon discharges becomes Theodora's something. Okay. Pit.